Good evening, Chicago audience. It's wonderful to be back with you. My name is Jodina Hicks. I'm here with the Safer Foundation. We're a nonprofit organization that serves people with criminal records in Illinois as well as in Iowa with a focus on job training, job placement, and other employment supports. And with me tonight, I have a wonderful guest. Very excited to have you, Frank
Excited to be here.
Salerno. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Frank Salerno, who is from the City of Chicago Streets and Sanitation Department. He is a program director for Streets and Sanitation Department and a very creative visionary for the City of Chicago who really does more than the mission of Streets and Sanitation. He helps incorporate the mayor's vision of putting people with records to work after incarceration through working with the streets and sanitation work projects. And so we're going to talk to Frank tonight about what he does and why the City of Chicago is interested in helping people with records get employment when they come home from prison. And again, it is Frank Salerno, Program Director, Streets and Sanitation, City of Chicago. So good evening, Frank.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Tell us a little about yourself and what you do at Streets and San.
Well, I've been an employee for 30 years there in the Department of Streets and Sanitation, and I've run the gamut. But in the last, I'd say about 5 years, I've been into really concentrating on program development. I take programs, especially in the reentry field, design, implement, oversee various programs. The mayor had a vision back in 2006, and the mayor was very proactive in wanting to see reentry programs, wanted them within the city of Chicago, wanted us to be leaders in that, not just followers. And he empowered myself and my commissioner, Bobby Richardson, to take his mandate and move with it. And that's what we did. And we started actually in the spring of 2007 with our very first reentry program of 11 people, and as we've grown it through the years now, we currently stand with the various agencies we deal with over 150 currently in transitional employment, and we've had at times where we've had as many as 250 at one time.
So Frank, what does prisoner reentry have to do with streets and sanitation, keeping our streets clean, the snow removed, and our city looking beautiful?
Yes, it does. That plus, when I went with the reentry program, I wanted to do more than just that, though. It was a twofold for me. It was a win-win. Win for the city, because we can get work done, and win for the individuals or clients that needed it, that needed the employment. But in addition to the employment, I wanted to bring them some training. We took them and we put them into a training class to teach them skills, what I call hard skills. They're skills that are not necessarily known by the average person. And to train them in hard skills, and then to give them a certificate of completion to show that they successfully completed it. So they learn the skills, and they have this that says, in fact, that they successfully completed the class, and then they have a sense of pride, and I think it's a win for them. I think it's a win for the city of Chicago and everybody involved.
And besides learning skills, are they doing actual work that benefits the residents of Chicago?
Absolutely. After the training, yes. We don't just train them and turn them aside.
Okay.
We after they're trained, it's actual in-field work. I mean, the city's not short, as you know, especially with the budget crunch we're in right now that the whole country is feeling out. There's no shortage of work. And it's been great, and this reentry programs have been able to fill a void that seems to be happening right now. And they're involved in the community. They're in West Side, they're in the South Side, they're in business districts, they're actually deployed all over the city and doing various things, anywhere from cleaning to power tools. We have some crews out there that we've trained in power tools to do tree removals, power pruning. We have crews that have gone through paint training that with the CSX Railroad are doing maintenance of an abandoned railroad line and maintaining the viaducts. And this is highly skilled work some of these individuals are doing.
And I understand even some tree planting.
Yes, we are.
Is that right?
Yes.
Tell us about the tree planting.
Well, the tree planting actually has been talked about for a little while and just actually came to fruition. And getting involved, and it works for us because the model we used was in vegetation control. And we have the crews out there initially, and in addition to the cleaning and stuff like that, they were trimming trees, they were removing brush, they're removing vegetation. So the tree planting was like, okay, we've taken away, we've cleaned up, now this is giving back. So it's more than just taking down or creating blight. It is actually, I think, is beautifying the area because they're involved into the tree planting, and we're currently planting in boulevards, small trees, and they are going to expand very shortly. They're going to be going into the parkways and start planting trees there. So the city, again, we're excited about it. The mayor's excited about it. The mayor's been just spearheading this for us, and as whatever we can think of, and if we can make it happen, the mayor wants it to happen.
Now, why is tree planting important to the city?
Well, we need it. Well, first of all, we're one of the largest canopies in the country that we maintain. Our Bureau of Forestry does a wonderful job. We have went through a serious drought not too long ago, a few years back. With a drought, several years after a drought, you could have serious tree damage that you don't know is there until a couple of years later from the drought. And so we've had some trees, and then there's also the emerald ash borer, which the city's on top of right now. So we need to maintain our canopy. It maintains several things. Quality of air, beautifying the city, and I think the mayor's always been very green. The mayor's always wanted a beautiful canopy and trees, and so again, he's very visionary in what he does, and that's why we're doing it.
So the mayor is getting 2 of his goals done under one effort, helping people come back from prison and get into employment, which, as we know, that's important for a number of reasons, and then implementing his green priority.
Absolutely.
Now, we've been noticing that State Street corridor is looking very clean lately. Can you tell us what's happening up and down State Street?
Well, that's a program that actually it's also come under, it's a reentry program with the State Street Association. State Street, that's part of our central business district, which is, when the tourists and all that come, it's the jewel of Chicago. And we need to maintain it, and we do that with the reentry program. They have with Safer Foundation, and they have crews out there, and it's an SSA, which is a special service area, and it's one of 35 or 36. I'm not quite exactly 135, 36, but it is called SSA number 1.
Okay.
And it's number 1 for a reason. So it is everybody and anybody that is downtown sees State Street. So it's very important that it's maintained to a very high standard. And so that's why we have Safer Foundation in there. Because of the quality of work, the high quality of work that the individuals do, it was the perfect fit for the State Street, for the city of Chicago, and for Safer, that there was this cooperation between Safer and the State Street Association to maintain State Street for them.
And Frank, we're really so thankful that the mayor has a vision to help incorporate people with records into the workforce. We know it makes a difference when it comes to public safety. We know when people are able to come home and get into employment, recidivism goes down. Additional crime is reduced, and people have the opportunity to support themselves and their families. So we're really thankful to the mayor, but I understand you have a personal interest in this work outside and in addition to the mayor's vision. Can you tell us why working with people with criminal records, training and employing them is important to you?
Well, it's twofold. With my background is what you're talking about?
I don't have an answer.
Well,
I just know that you're very passionate about this work.
I am. Well, in my home front, I'm not going to get too much into it, but my family, was affected and a very close member. Obviously, I'm trying to say this judiciously. Ended up going into the federal prison system, and to experience it and to go through it the way I did, is pretty amazing. To go through the entire court system and the visitations and all that, it's quite devastating, not only to the individual but to the family. And I've seen both sides of the fence, so I think that means a lot to me, that involved in it. And also that I happen to be, and I'll say this publicly for myself, I'm a recovering alcoholic and an addict, and I know a lot of the people that we deal with that are involved in reentry programs have some sort of a substance abuse background. And so I reach out for them because that's very near and dear to my heart, that we look at all aspects of what this is about. We try to touch their lives, try to change lives, and that's what we try to do. And for me, on a personal level, giving back helps me. That's where I find the reward at for me. So I'm involved with it because I believe in it. Yeah.
And Frank, you mentioned going through an addiction yourself, and I can only imagine that many of our viewers tonight may be going through the same thing. Maybe being addicted to drugs and alcohol, maybe a family member. Is there anything you would like to say to our viewing audience?
Well, yeah, how long is this show? I'll tell you what, I've been clean and sober 25 years, okay? But through the grace of God and the fellowships that I go to, I would say there is an answer if you want it. Go out there. There's plenty of places, plenty of programs, but if you are out there right now and you're suffering, and if you have a sincere desire to stop, if you want to stop the insanity, if you want to stop the pain and suffering and all that, there is a solution. But only you can make that decision. Nobody can make that decision for you. I mean, you have to want it. If you want it, it's there for you. You don't need to feel like you're trapped or caught. There's something you can do about it. You don't have to be that hamster in the hamster cage. Believe me, you don't. When you think it's hopeless, it is not. When you think it's powerless, great. Powerless, then go seek help. There's others that can show you. There's so many that are. And if you're a family member that is suffering with somebody that is suffering from some type of addiction or whatever, there's hope. There's hope for you too. There's programs for the family member. Because the addict and the alcoholic touches everybody. Touches not only themselves, they touch everybody within the family and anybody they come in contact with. I've always felt that an addict or an alcoholic, a practicing addict or alcoholic, is like a tornado. And it just destroys everything within its path. And the addict and the alcoholic thinks that nobody knows. And they don't realize the damage that's being done. So help yourself. There's plenty of stuff to do there. There's so many organizations, so many groups, so many places you could go to. So many people out there. There's millions and millions of people that are living sober and clean lives. Healthy, rich, rewarding lives. Absolutely. My life today is so much better than I could have ever imagined it to be.
And thank you. I think we have a caller.
Uh-oh.
So go ahead, caller. Hello,
hello. I was calling because I wanted to know about the job opportunity and what are the program's names that he's offering to help with.
Okay, well, the job opportunities that are being done with Streets and Sanitation are in partnership with the Safer Foundation. You can reach Safer at 312-922-2200. And the jobs include some of the ones that Mr. Salerno talked about: tree planting, the neighborhood cleanup that's doing tree trimming in various communities. And we're going to hear next about a specific employment opportunity with Safer Returns. So, caller, thank you for that call. If you just hold on for a couple minutes, we're going to get more in depth into the job opportunity that we're underway with in East Garfield Park. And so, Frank, we have a couple last questions for you. Thank you for sharing personally as well. I think probably a first step, if we do have viewers out there and they hear there's help out there, first step would be to call 311, who could provide a list of programs There's also Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous that have hotlines and websites, and so many programs around the city, as Frank said. And I think 311 is a great starting point to find out where they are. Frank, sometimes we hear from employers a perception that people with records may not make the best workers. You've now employed probably close to 1,000 of them. Yeah. Can you tell us what kind of workers our people make? And if you were a private employer, how would you look at this?
Put prejudice aside. I'll tell you what, the vast majority of the individuals across the board are very motivated individuals. They want to change. They want to make a difference with their lives. They're hardworking. It's amazing to see the quality of work that they put forth, and to see the joy that while they're doing it, the happiness. They had Safer had a program called the Ambassador Program. It was a program of about 210 people, and it was a beautiful program that we put together. And they work for streets and sanitation and all that. And when I would go out, and I would constantly go in the field because I enjoy going in the field. And when I pull up on these crews and see them, they're all out there, they're all working, they're all happy, they're all moving, and they greet you, and their attitudes, and you could just see a joy inside of these individuals. I would absolutely recommend any employer that don't hesitate to absolutely go out there and hire these individuals, and you're going to get a person that has something worthwhile to give, and that's to give their heart and soul to you, because they want to change their lives, and they know if they do a good job, they will remain employed, and they can in fact change their lives. So if you give them a chance, you will not, I know you will be greatly surprised at the quality of the work, the dedication, and the heart that's really inside of each and every one of these individuals.
And here's a couple stats in addition to that we've talked about. And one is with that Ambassador Program, which was a 5-month program with 210 workers working 7 hours a day. We had a 0% call-off rate.
How about it?
The mayor was very happy.
Yes.
We also have done various work crew projects for universities as well as for CSX Rail. And we've been told pretty consistently that we get the job done in about half the time in terms of how they price it. We do know our workers are extremely motivated.
Yes.
And they like knowing that their work is noticed by the city as well.
It is noticed by us, and it's noticed also by the citizens. We have in the city we have a term called attaboys. And attaboys is when the public calls up. If you see something and we get a call and they say this person's doing a wonderful job or they're doing a wonderful job, that's duly noted. It's not just a wasted phone call. It is recorded by us. It is passed on from us up to our commissioner, to the mayor's office. It's passed on to the agencies. And we got numerous attaboys from not only Ambassador but all the programs. So the community is noticing the difference that these programs are making. That's why it's growing at such a rate it's growing.
Well, Frank Salerno, we thank you so much. Our clients thank you. Our communities thank you for all you've done to help people come back from prison and have a second, third, maybe fourth chance, and to be able to get into the workforce. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jodina.
And we will be showing Frank's number in just a few minutes, but before that, we have another guest, Juan Cruz, who's our work crew supervisor for Safer Return. He'll be joining us to talk a little more about the great news that we heard from Streets and Sanitation. Good evening, Juan. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little about yourself and what you do with Safer Foundation?
My name is Juan Cruz, and I'm a work crew supervisor for Safer Return. I'm also coordinator for the SSA, which is a group that we have downtown cleaning State Street with the Chicago Loop Alliance, in conjunction with the Chicago Loop Alliance.
And we've been hearing some compliments that State Street is looking very clean. Tell us what your crew does and a little about the results that you've seen as a supervisor.
Okay. Well, we started January 1st. We secured a contract for a year to clean approximately about 19 blocks of one of the world's greatest streets, State Street, of course, to beautify and to clean, and not only to clean, but just to act as ambassadors for the city. The work is, cleaning cigarette butts, reporting graffiti, helping pedestrians with their bags across the street. We found numerous IDs that we returned. Yeah, and snow. Tremendously snow. I started January 1st. We had snow. Coming from Safer Return, we primarily worked with Frank Salerno and the alleys and cleaning up vegetation and recyclables. We didn't have any experience in snow removal, but we became snowologists, I like to say, overnight, because I think everybody that was in Chicago at that time knew that the snow just continuously fell, and we were just armed with shovels and manpower, and I really didn't know how to aim my team, but we went down, and we did a fantastic job the first day, but it just kept snowing. I don't care how much salt or snow plows you had, it just kept coming down. So once it stopped, though, we had a quick assessment of what we needed to do, what went wrong, what went well, and the streets were clear for the morning rush hour. So the mayor was happy. The city got across the street. I mean, the pedestrians got across the crosswalks. So that went very well. In addition to that, we have the parades that comes. We have Pritzker Park that we focus on a high. We do like a double take on Pritzker Park. And then the weather is breaking now, so we have more pedestrians. We have over like 65,000 students, over 500,000 people that
that
just
throw
go
trash on
not
the
only throw trash,
sidewalk.
but it's fair to say that they will throw something down. Someone's going to wrapper. It could just be a little as a wrapper, but if something is flowing or flying down the street, the debris, it's our job just to get the debris up.
Now, I understand you recently met Mayor Daley and had a chance to talk to him about the work we're doing. Was he pleased?
He was ecstatic.
Okay.
I just mentioned my name and just told him who I was and what my title was and the job duty that I had. And he was just like, oh, you the guy that's in charge of downtown. The guys are doing such a great job. I've been hearing nothing but great things to say. And he asked, did I need anything? And it was just great just to know that the guys appreciate, and that the city really appreciates us. It feels good for some of the guys, well, most of the guys, just for, normally, you walk down the street and people probably across the street from some guys or something, but now it's like they run up to them, asking them for directions, for assistance, and it builds the self-esteem up of the clients that's working downtown. And but the mayor was very receptive and just actually gave us storage space and just added accommodations to anything that we needed.
So how would you rate your crew on State Street?
Excellent. Superb.
Can you highlight maybe one of the work crew members or tell the audience what a job means to your workers?
Well, I can say one of the workers that we had, he was a great worker. He can get out. I asked him to do anything. He would be the first one out the van. I didn't even have to tell him what to do. We were out there, trash was in the street. He would just grab a broom, rake, shovel, bag. He probably would have had all three at one time, but that was one of the guys that I selected, because he met or exceeded expectations. But he didn't smile a lot. When I met him, he just always had this frown on his face, and I was like, man, why you don't smile? He's like, what's the smile about? And but he was just used to not smiling. When he got downtown, I said, well, you know what? I think you don't smile a little bit down here, man. Because it's not really physical. It's more just acting as a host to the city. You have tourists that's coming down. And we had to have buy-in, from a person that didn't smile to when he got his first check. And I went down there and he's like, man, these people down here really like us, man. They really come up to us. And just to see him smile, I didn't even know how many teeth he had in his mouth. But he was smiling from ear to ear. And that's just, to me, that was just a job well done. Just to see him smile now. And just when he goes downtown, and he can't stop smiling now. So that's just one example of just what it does for a person's self-esteem. To feel like, because ordinarily, if he just came downtown and applied for some of the businesses that he's cleaning up, they probably would reject him, just because of the barriers to employment that we have. But some of the same people that wouldn't employ him, giving them coffee when it's snowing outside, and just McDonald's has been doing a great job, just helping us go in and store, just helping assist us around their store, and it's great though. It's just great, it builds a lot of self-esteem for the guys.
Can you help us understand what it means to come out of prison and face some barriers? And then we're gonna wrap up the show in the next couple minutes, but we'd like to understand a little better about why are we employing people with records? Haven't they done something wrong? And why is it all this effort's going into it?
Well, personally, I'm a person with a background, and to have an opportunity just to, people make bad decisions. It wasn't a mistake. I made a bad decision, a bad choice as a youth. But to, pay your penitence, you do your time, you do your time constructively, you build up tools in your toolbox while incarcerated, to better aid yourself when you come out. And then to come out, I got my degree, I got work skills, I had my resume built, and just to get denied employment, just based on the fact that I had a background. I made it, I made some bad decisions, and just to have that barrier, will your self-esteem would really just erase your self-esteem. You have very low self-esteem. I had very low self-esteem. Just coming out and knowing the education that I had, just wanting just to show myself and just to give myself opportunity, and not to have that opportunity was depressing. It actually was depressing. So,
and some people revert to other ways of making money when they meet with that reality of needing to feed yourself, your family. Right. We know that happens.
By all means necessary. You have to feed yourself. That's one of the that's just one of the hierarchy theories. Just food, shelter. But to come out, and I got associated with the Safer Foundation because they had a track record of just helping people with backgrounds. I found out that just doing it on my own, going up to a Walmart or just a store, a business on my own, and just asking them for employment was kind of hard. So I needed an advocate. So who better to advocate for people with backgrounds than a company like Safer, a business like Safer, an organization like Safer that would go in and just advocate for us. And then, so I went through that program,
you're an
and
advocate,
I'm an advocate,
a coach,
a supervisor, a mentor,
and you're helping keep the city clean.
Yes. Okay. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for all you're doing, and I want to show our audience again. We have Juan Cruz. He is our second guest tonight, and one of the work crew supervisors and program managers at the Safer Foundation. I promised our last caller that we talk a little more about how to get employment and support through the Safer Foundation. And again, we work with people with criminal records. If you don't have a record, there's another number I'm going to show on the screen right now. But we would encourage you. We covered a lot of topics tonight. The city's green strategies through streets and sanitation, the supports that are available around addictions, and employment placement for people with records. So the numbers that we have to show you are how to contact Safer Foundation, 312-922-2200. Specifically, Safer Return that works in the East Garfield Park area can be reached at 773-826-1853. And then for general city services, access to treatment, access to recovery supports, and if you don't have a criminal record and you do want to find out more about how you can find employment, call 311. We thank you for your viewing tonight and for your calls.